Yeah, as a teacher, I meet kids who are in a very combative point in their life, and especially kids who live in Jerusalem. A lot of the anger and the fear that they experience in their daily life is directed towards and coming from Palestinians. And I encounter in my work a lot of hate, a lot of anger, a lot of really tough words and sayings about the other, about who they are and what they want to do to us, and what we want to do to them, we as Israelis, they as Palestinians. So it's, I see in my kids how deeply afraid they are, but also how deeply hateful, I would say, they are. It's about Palestinians. Again, I mean, I'm not doing this, we are not doing this, I think, for ourselves. We're doing it for the future generation as well. So when I see this, I understand what a big challenge we have in softening the hearts and in opening the minds and changing the perception of one another.
Okay, we cannot, as Palestinian, we cannot forget. We cannot the history and everything, but we can deal and live with our memory, with our memorial, and the Israelis must do that also.
Right now, at this point, at the certain. With the present government, we actually see that things or that peace is getting further away. And this, yes, from that point of view, it affects me, and I think it's one of the reasons for me for being here, because it's just too much to take to see how really at the present time the right wing in Israel is really having its way bit by bit.
And I think it's an absurd that all this discussion is going on in Israel, and like the Palestinians and the Palestinian voice is absolutely excluded from this discussion. So it's a pity those things don't happen more, and the Israelis and also Palestinians don't want more of them should want to participate in this kind of dialogues or trialogues.
I'll tell you quite frankly, I was not aware until recently that I met with some Palestinians of this normalization issue. That for them it's really has become a very major subject and something that they are afraid of the most, and I can understand it. But for us, I'm also afraid of normalization, and I feel that our government is really taking advantage of this so-called normalization. And anyway, it's a very bad word, because we're talking about a situation which is absolutely not normal. We have to remember this all the time.
Every other day you hear a new devastating story, and in both sides, and it doesn't make it less painful that it happened to Israelis or to Palestinians, because just the idea that this could happen this easily every day, and then it's just very sad, and sometimes it's very confusing. What should I do? Like, when I hear these things constantly, what should I do? Should I cry every day?
when there is a helicopter flying next to the camp, all the people, they will be afraid. Maybe this helicopter will shoot some bullets, and they will say in the news, the man in the helicopter, he just made a mistake and he pressed it by a mistake.
This morning, that the incident of the burning at the village next to Nablus, where a house was burnt and one baby was killed and the other members of his family were injured. So it's a good example, because these things happen all the time and they're part of our daily lives. And surely you can't feel very safe and secure when things like this happen.
A very simple family, two children and two parents. They were in their home. Maybe they're eating, they're playing, they're sleeping, whatever. Just some settlers, they came to them and they throw bombs or Molotovs, I don't know. They burned the house in a way, and they killed the children, and they burned the other three family people. How I can be safe and I'm sleeping? I don't know who's going to come and throw something and kill me.
Today, this was actually the choice of the group to deal directly and specifically with the traumas of the three nations. And so this was really put on the table, and the whole day we were dealing with it, which was a very interesting and I would say very refreshing, especially that there's a new factor here of the Germans, so how everything fits together with the Holocaust and our situation and the Nakba. Even here, there was not a confrontation. There was a lot of learning process and understanding and listening, which is great, actually. Everything in a very, very, very good atmosphere, especially good atmosphere.
Yeah, I think I'm able to admit here more of the fears that I have, because often I play some role when I'm talking about the situation here. I have, because everyone is so afraid, I have to be the strong one, the reassuring one. And here I can give a little bit more room to the fact that I can say, yeah, I am scared. I trust, but not all the way. And it doesn't hurt. I mean, it only strengthens the trust. For me, it doesn't hurt the trust if I'm able to say that. Because it's honest.
The most thing that I enjoyed is the session where everything was tough and uncomfortable and challenging, and there was this tension. I like these moments. This is what opens my excitement, my interest grows much more, my curiosity to know how does people deal with themselves and with the situation outside when they are in these moments of uncomfortableness. Because I myself was so uncomfortable, and there was this energy, and I also witnessed how it did to me, how it opened so many questions and feelings and emotions. And I think in these moments we learned so much, if we don't avoid it and like just try to make everything gets better as soon as possible. And then I saw some change, some bigger change.
And I wanted to do more seminars here or outside and to know the people more and how they say and talk about the Palestinian case.
The borders between us, for me, it's the history, it's the narrative. It's not in the ground, because it's the borders and the grounds. It's like a stone. If you get this stone away, it means you open the borders. But the borders in our minds. It's more important to talking about.
The political solution is less important in my eyes. Two-state solution, or one-state solution, or a confederation, or whatever. And the ability to live together, to forgive each other, and to work together is much more important.
I went to Jaffa during Eid al-Fitr, the holiday after Ramadan, or finishing Ramadan fast, and the Israeli government gave permits to the Palestinians, to many Palestinians, to come into Israel, and there were hundreds, really like so many people on the Jaffa seaside and in the park and on the ocean, and such a good atmosphere, and people were celebrating and running into the ocean and happy, and the Israelis were there too and the Palestinians were there too, and interacting and not interacting, and it just seemed very natural. So maybe it's a little bit idyllic, but that's how I wish the day after peace will look like. Do we believe or do we hope? I don't believe, unfortunately. I hope. And for now, what I can hope for is more moments like I had there in the ocean.
I think we can't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and just try making it better.
I hope that. I hope that. Really, I hope. I hope this day will come and coming soon.
I'm not like, we are going to change the world. It will change. It's changing in each moment. But how can we just contribute a little bit in this togetherness and do something by constant exploration, by constant questioning, by constant challenging ourselves and the realities we are living in, and also being compassionate and not just challenging, and like how can we keep developing what's innate in us.